Oh, already running. Welcome back to the deep darkness of the 41st millennium. This is one part of Team Screaming activity, and I'm back with more Rogue Trader. So, last time we created the character, Beatrice, Imperial Commissioner, who is on her way to assist Lady von Valenciuss and her Arch-Militant to suppress a insurrection that has spilled over from the lower decks to the upper ones. God, I love that multigun. It just bursts all the enemies. Kunrad Voigtvir lets out sight of relief upon seeing you. Thank Providence, you are alive and well. Always on time, eh, Kunrad? The moment we finish casting the riffraff around the deck, you show up. Always just after fighting's done. You could set the chrono by it. Kunrad pointedly looks away from the Arch-Militant to you. Mort, pull yourself together. The Arch-Militant looks back at you. What did the Lord Captain send you to chivvy us along? Now, what? Did the Lord Captain send you to chivvy us along? That would be the correct inflection there. We're all done here. I'll report right back. Mort pulls his box from the belt and hurriedly reports on the situation. And here comes Lady Theodora. Master of Whispers, what is happening on my ship? The Voxnet is silent, the Voxmaster is not responding. Armed assailants have stormed the officer's deck, and my Arch-Militant just destroyed several more heretics on the way here. Is this a severe case of warp madness? Have some of my crew lost their minds and forgotten who they are and whom they serve? Report. I have not yet received word from the Engineerium regarding any Gala field failures. But communications were already unstable half an hour ago, and now they have ceased altogether. Whatever the cause may be, the consequences are spreading fast. I'm receiving scattered reports from middle decks, and the only voxcasts from lower bays are one-way heretical gibberish. Voigtvir pauses. That the madness had already reached the officer's deck suggests that this outrage was planned in advance. Perhaps this is an organized mutiny. Mutiny? But who would attempt mutiny here in the warp? Lunatics, fools, heretics. This ship houses thousands upon thousands of people. Valenciuss? Pernicious thoughts and warp-induced delusions could have tainted any one of them. It is a difficult notion to accept, but such risks are inescapable. First, we have to confirm that the bridge and Navigator's Sanctum are secure. I have the means to do both things at once. Her expression changes as her eyes flash ominously. Theodora looks at Voigtvir. Abelard, where is he? I must know if he is unharmed. A Psyker aboard a ship that is potentially being assailed by warp could pose a greater threat to himself and others than a whole army of madmen with improvised weapons. I tried to locate him, but the last thing known about his movements is that he arrived on Transitional Deck 18. Blast it! Master of Whispers, find Abelard immediately. Seneschal, Locate Tlass and Sister of Battle. Both are to remain at my side. Arch-Militant, with me. I must go to my study, and it appears that we might encounter heretics along the way. Beatrice. Theodora glances at you thoughtfully. If I may, Lord Captain? Voigtvir's voice is soft and cautious. Transitional Deck 18 is at heart of the disturbance, and if our goal is to bring Ethelthred back, I could use some support. After all, I'm not as adept at directly confronting enemies of the house as the esteemed Arch-Militant. And taking into consideration Ethelthred's Psyker powers, things are happening. That it is settled. Beatrice, find Ethelthred and bring him here, in whatever state you find him. This elevator, she points at the massive doors, leads to restricted compartments such as my personal chambers and the bridge. Do not let me down. I require you both. Do you understand? I hear and obey, Lord Captain. Theodora waves a hand impatiently. Then move out. Mort, come. And now we're left alone with Kunrad again. Well, he was good enough, not Pathfinder, not Wayfinder, but Guide. Yes, that's the right word. Voigtvir gives you a nod. Are you ready to head to 18? It is a long walk and you do not even have proper gear. I shall make do. Lead the way. Of course you will. He rummages in his pocket for something. Lady Theodora would never have someone she couldn't rely on as one of her heirs. But that is no longer relevant. With a pop and a sharp crackle, something hits you in the abdomen, and you are consumed by unbearable, gut-wrenching pain. I promised you special destiny, Beatrice. It's time to fulfill it. Yeah, that is what Emperor-fearing person would do. Of course he is a heretic. What else would he be?
Careful, careful. Be gentle with our guest. She has an important mission to complete during our visit to the Warrant Chamber, and for that, I need her breathing. Oh, you are back with us, I see. Delightful.
So, there is no point in asking what is the meaning of this. Voigtvir, you two-faced scum. You are the one behind this mayhem.
How perceptive of you. I'll help you with the next insight. I need you here for your blood. You have the option to share it voluntarily, or I will squeeze it out of you myself. We are in the anteroom of the Warrant Chamber, this void ship's most hallowed vault. There, beyond those gates, lies the relic that gives Theodora all of her power. The sacred Warrant of Trade. Only one obstacle remains on my path to obtaining it. The gates of the chamber are guarded by the Sentinel, an ancient device that will only open the door to a true heir of the dynasty. I expected to do this part myself, but never mind. You will offer your blood to the Sentinel.
Okay, as we clearly know that he is a heretic and a traitor, what is it, inbred? Is your blood too thin for the Sentinel?
On the contrary, the Warp's blessing has raised me too much above your kind, fond Valenciuss. The Sentinel refused to submit to me. But you can help. After all, isn't that what family is for?
No, we're gonna use this coercion. What a sorry, pathetic excuse do you even have for your apostasy? You sordid, wretched piece of grok shit.
Wretched? What do you know about wretchedness? Theodora's cur. Are you hoping to buy a grain of her indulgence with your blind loyalty? Oh, I know this delusion. But thank the gods it no longer has power over me. Humanity can rot. I no longer serve mortal kind. Once my work is done, I'll make that pompous wench von Valenciuss watch as I sacrifice her entire dynasty and commit their fate to the gods. And you will be the instrument by which I will accomplish this righteous act.
A blade flashes in the dim light, and drops of blood appear on your palm. For a brief moment you feel nauseous, your head is spinning. And then, quiet whispers begin to flood your mind. More and more sourceless voices echo each other, drowning out your own thoughts, replacing them with a singular urge. Go to gate. Go to the gate. Go to the gate. Well, let's try to use some skill checks here. And let's try to fight the voices in our head. Get out! I'm not your puppet. The voices in your head giggle and mock your desperate outcry. You feel this intruding influence forcing you onto your feet and making you take a step towards the gate looming in the center of the chamber. In the gateway's arch, you see a cogitator with a human likeness built into the frontal panel. As you approach, the torso twitches slightly. This is a servitor, an obedient automaton created from a lobotomized human being. The Sentinel turns its head to you, one of its eye sockets lighting up with two amber-like irises. So let's try a tech use check. We have 85% chance of passing it due to our high skill value. Meaning we have to roll below 85 on the D100. This is that sort of a system. They have inherited that from the original tabletop. So yeah, let's examine the device. A success. You carefully inspect the design of the gate cogitator. What immediately catches your eye is a strange alloy that was used as material for the machine's components, some of which are unfamiliar to you. You suspect this might be some kind of archaeotech relic. So, very, very old technology that, well, most likely nobody knows how to make anymore. Fun times, right? Losing all the tech and advancement. The servitor on the gate begins to move. With the screeching and groaning of metal, it leans forward, closer to you. Its lower jaw opens with a drawn-out shriek, much wider than a jaw of a living human could. The servitor's mouth is filled with sharp metallic fangs that glint in the dim light. The windscreen to the right of you lights up, showing string of mysterious symbols on a green background. A whisper runs through your consciousness, insisting, demanding sacrifice. The voices that filled your head after Voigtvir wounded you with his blade did not go away. On the contrary, the source coiled itself into tight knots somewhere in the depths of your mind. Fun times. Corruption. Corruption everywhere. So let's examine the Sentinel. Servitor looks noticeably different from the ones you are used to. Its skin covering its stitched Oh, its skin covering is stitched together with a copper thread, and it has metal hinges in the place of its standard joints. It seems that the creator of the Sentinel did everything to ensure that the service life of this unit would be much longer than that of ordinary automatons. Well, we could look for a weapon, but I don't think there will be one. You look around in hopes of finding at least something that could work as a weapon. Your search is in vain. The chamber's anteroom is completely empty and in perfect working condition. Nary a broken panel or protruding piece of rebar are in sight. So we don't have anything to bludgeon them with. Well, might as well. Place your hand into Sentinel's maw. The Sentinel's jaw clamps around your hand, puncturing your skin and sinking into your flesh. A few dark drops fall into the servitor's throat, and immediately you hear humming as the servomotor starts up and pump stirs into motion. The windscreen of the cogitator flickers. Several long minutes pass. The Sentinel's jaws remain closed and you are beginning to feel sick. Perhaps if you were to lean against the gate, you could catch your breath. Maybe even close your eyes and pretend none of this ever happened.
High levels of caustic humus. The subject is in a state of heightened stress. Do you require assistance?
You do not understand where this quiet voice is coming from, crackling like static. Is it the Sentinel, the cogitator? Is it a figment of your weary mind? Whichever it is, you can clearly hear every word. Yes, I do require assistance. Pain shoots through your head and subsides just as quickly. It would seem the entity coiled in your consciousness does not have the ability to do you any real harm.
Request accepted. Initiating defense protocol.
Oh. Well, there we go. More tarantula. What are those? Gun placements?
Well, there is still another way.
More tarantula gun placements and some flamethrowers. The easiest way to deal with the heretics. So, let's move into the antechamber. And of course bring up the log. I like to... These, well, markings, no, but these blurbs of text usually go away way too quickly for me to finish up reading them. Really? Why aren't you set here? Okay, the enormous gate matched the importance of the thing they protect. Wait, really? Nothing here? Yeah, it is right there, so why aren't you with the all here? Yeah, okay, that was a bit weird. Fair enough. Then I won't finish reading this text. But here we are. This is the Warrant of Trade. Let it be known that by my will and by the true words of this document, I appoint the person to be the bearer. Yeah, and this goes way too fast for my reading. So you can go ahead and read it yourselves and pause.
Escort the child of the house to safety.
What madness is happening here? Who are you? Who addresses me?
Temporary obnubilation following acute stress. Mobile unit of the Warrant Sentinel standing by.
Are you the Warrant Sentinel?
Mobile unit of the Warrant Sentinel designed as a personal escort of the child of the house and a means of communicating with the rogue trader's subjects. Mobile unit standing by.
I need to contact someone, preferably Theodora.
Voxcast frequencies disrupted. Initiating setup. Establishing connection.
Okay. In place of mechanical screeching, the server skull's vox projects the voice of Theodora von Valenciuss, distorted and ridden with static, yet still recognizable beyond a doubt. Voxmaster, restore communication with Navigator's Sanctum. I am trying to contact the bridge. If anyone can hear me on this frequency, group all available force and head to the upper decks at once. I repeat, regroup all available force and head...
Communication protocols breached. Signal latency assessment unavailable. Unable to establish two-way connection.
Well then, I need a weapon. I'm utterly defenseless.
Distance from the current location to the nearest arsenal. Initiating situational calculations.
The servo skull goes silent. Its relays clicking. Seconds after second pass and you realize that the servo skull will not answer you. Lead me away from here.
Middle and upper decks. Assuming the probability of safe placement in areas of concentration of armed units. Calculating. To prevent unauthorized units from breaching the warrant chamber, preemptive sealing must be initiated. The mobile unit will start executing the received order immediately after the safety of the warrant is secured.
Okay, so as the game stories unfold, you will see notifications. Yeah, so this is basically the journal notifications. We don't have anything really to check there, so let's leave the warrant chamber, as the Warrant Sentinel asked us, and seal it. Yep, let's seal the chamber, so no enemies of humanity might reach it.
Mistress? Whatever are you doing in the warrant chamber? How did you... Throne preserve me, what is the meaning of this?
Kunrad Voigtvir is a traitor. When we parted ways on the officer deck, he stunned me somehow and brought me here.
What?
He tended to take revenge on Theodora for something, and trying to reach the warrant was somehow part of the plan.
Oh, holy God, Emperor. I presume he is the one responsible for the mutiny. And, Mistress, I wish to remind you that you are to refer to the Lord Captain as Lady Theodora.
Voigtvir openly admitted that he is the mastermind behind the mutiny.
Saints' blood! And it is small wonder that the heretics are so well organized. I thought his order to seal the passages between decks was his attempt to stop the attackers from spreading to other levels. But now I see the real reason. It was to stop the enforcers from intervening. At least you are alive, and now safe, Mistress. Alas, I doubt we can afford to look for a compartment to sit out this disaster. You're in a bad way. I can treat your wounds. I have a Medicaid kit with me. And, for the love of the throne, now is not a good time to be walking around the decks without means of self-defense. Here.
Okay, so we're getting our first equipment here. First decent equipment. Yep, I know what to do. Please and thank you. Let's open up the inventory and see. So, we got the stub revolver. I think we had the same stub revolver previously. Actually, I want to check out the information. What does recoil actually do? Well, it's not really explained. I think I will have to check that out after the video at some point. So it has rather small range. Well, not a lot of ammo. It's revolver, and yeah, it can go with a single shot or a burst shot in single shot or burst shot modes. So we will take that as our primary weapon, and to protect ourselves, We are having... well, we got the sword, but we won't use this for long. This particular setup. We'll change that up quite soon. That sword looks rather neat. And there, a body glove. Armor 4, so it only has 15% armor, but due to this being light armor... Let's see if there's more info. Must not have features, sure. So armor reduces the damage we receive, if I recall correctly. The amount of damage we receive, but due to it being light armor, it's easier for us to dodge incoming attacks. But that is based on our agility, if I'm not completely wrong. Dodge, yeah, so it improves characters' initiative, dodge chance, and reaction. So yeah, we would need to improve agility more to effectively use light armor types to take less damage, because currently our dodge chance is 60%. I guess due to armor, it targets agility and minus attacker's perception, so base chance is 60%. No, that's not too bad. Ooh, and we reduce enemies' dodge chance by 30 due to our perception. Okay, fair enough. So, we do not know how to use Medicae, because our Medicae, even though our Medicae skill is 40, we need to have put at least 1 point in the skill to effectively use Medkit. We will do so as we level up. But Abelard can use medkits, and for a time being, he will be our healer and tank. He's very tough, he's quite strong, and, well, his weapon skill is nothing to scoff at. Well, it's definitely better than ours. Nothing. Let's select Abelard and... Yep, I know. Let's select Abelard and heal ourselves.
Let me help.
There we go.
That is a noticeable improvement. Now you're prepared for the trials ahead. The lower decks are teeming with heretics instigating the rabble to revolt. But that is the least of our problems. The ship's enforcers are rounding up the scoundrels and suppressing the resistance. The situation on the middle decks is much worse, although strike teams have already been dispatched there. All communication with the bridge and the engineering bay was lost. So, apart from scattered voxcasts, we have no information to go on. But that is not the worst of it. All these jolts and shaking are most alarming. These are signs that the Navigator and the Master Helmsman are having difficulty translating the ship out of the warp and into real space. I fear that they may have already lost control. We must reach the Navigator's Sanctum and get a handle on the situation. If we can manage that, some aboard this vessel may yet survive.
What exactly has gone wrong with the translation?
I am no helmsman, or God Emperor preserve me navigator. However, I've spent my entire life aboard void ships equipped with warp drives, and I know that portents such as these do not bode well. It could be that the Geller field has faltered. Perhaps the Navigator was struck down by warp corruption, and is fighting for the last shreds of his humanity as we speak. If we get thrown off course, we will be forever lost in the war. Naturally, we would likely not have long to live in that scenario. But I will not resign myself to such an outcome just yet.
How did you find me?
You sent me a Vox message. Specifically, a Voxcast on the officer's frequency, which I had the good fortune to receive. You mean to say you did no such thing?
I think the Warrant Sentinel may have sent that message. It appeared when I opened the chamber.
Warrant Sentinel? The Lord Captain barely ever ventures down to the chamber, and I was at her side only once or twice when she did. And I did not see anything of the sort. The Warrant Chamber is an ancient and rather sacred mechanism that the ship's tech priests treat with the utmost reverence. I assume that whatever it is that you did, you must have activated certain processes and caused the Sentinel to awaken. But then, why did none of it happen when Lady Theodora did the same?
What can we expect to find in the Navigator's Sanctum?
During warp transit, the Sanctum is closed to all who are not involved in traversing the Empyrean. And for good reason. For the Navigator to open their third eye and perceive the way, the Sanctum must be bathed in the energies of the immaterial. Only a Navigator can withstand such an ordeal. For the rest of us, any contact with the warp is fraught with perils such as loss of sanity, spontaneous mutations, and death.
Fun. All the fun things that can happen during the warp travel. Or being unprotected in the warp. Get your third arm today. So, I heard one of Theodora's Voxcasts.
Lady Theodora's. Which one? The last one I received was about the Navigator's Sanctum, and that was a good while ago. In any case, let us hope that the Lord Captain is well, and safely in charge of the ship's defense. In the meantime, we must do all we can to prevent the ship from veering off course.
I really like how Abelard is so protective of Theodora, and when we try to, well, not exactly disrespect her, but ignore customs? No. Not customs, but rather ignore her station. Yes, that's the right way. So, the Navigator's Sanctum. Very well. Will you lead the way?
Absolutely. Let us proceed.
A wave of static suddenly erupts from the Savile skull, and you can make out Theodora's words through the noise. To arms, loyal sons and daughters of the God Emperor! Fight the heresy and corruption that threatens to consume our home, and with all your might destroy those who have dared.
The Lord Captain is calling her crew to battle, which means the Vox networks are set up for broadcast transmission, not message exchange. Splendid. While the rogue trader inspires proper resolve to fight in her subjects, you and I shall prove that her trust in us is well deserved. Onward!
And here comes the heretics.
Don't you dare to cross us!
Yep.
Show them no mercy.
Tactical phase. So, during the tactical phase, we can place our party as we like it. So, on my part, I think Abelard will be most effective right here, so that he can run into those opponents and then cleave them. As for us, we will be most effective on the back line. So, let's start. Abelard was a bit too slow, but he can still cleave these cutthroats. Yep, I'm pretty sure I know the abilities of Abelard. Are we... For one round, the Navy officer and their allies in 3-cell radius? We are in 3-cell radius at least. Or we might not be, so this is 3 cells. Yeah, we might just be out of the radius of this, so... no need. But what we are gonna do, we're gonna cleave these 2 heretic cutthroats.
I will do my due. Once near a target.
There we go. Abelard the killing machine. Got it. That was a critical hit, and we can actually so charge into our opponent further away. Yep, attacks of opportunity if we move out of range. Melee opponents. That is a thing. It's so nice that they're all going towards Abelard. So, about our abilities. Yes, I think we will do this. Then shoot this heretic. We missed, but yeah, he is affected. Got it. Now, voice of command, Abelard. And that's all we can do. We still don't have our second ability that would allow us to, well, move Abelard. Oh, sorry, not move, but give him extra turn. They stand around Abelard so nicely. Now we can just cleave most of them. Yes, and friendly fire is definitely a thing, so we can't reach him with the charge, because, well, we have to run further away. But we can put ourselves right here, because we got an extra turn due to us killing the marked target, well, Abelard killing the marked target. And now we can just melee attack this heretic cutthroat, who's armed with a las gun. Yeah. As for us, we can move in closer. We can't use voice of command on Abelard because we did so last turn, but we can most definitely shoot the heretic. There we go. Yep, now for the level advancement. Let's start with Abelard. I have a clearer picture of what to do with him. He already has Medicae up to 30, but I would rather like his Medicae skill be up to 40, because for a while now, he will be our main healer. So that is that, we can't do anything else. So let's complete the level up, and as for us, we can't take Medicae, so we won't be able to heal anybody, which is quite sad, but due to our high fellowship, I will try to spec. I like how this still says Abelard. What? Oh, this is an interesting bug, actually. Showing Beatrice and then Abelard. Weird. So yeah, but for Beatrice we will choose Persuasion, because I want to make her a very persuasive rogue trader. There we go. Abelard has leveled up. Yeah, and one more very cool feature that most people who play this game already know. The looting. We just click on one of them and the whole lot is already looted. So we want to hold on to the las gun, but the swords can be moved straight to cargo. And I will give las gun to Abelard as a secondary weapon, so that he has some range options when he can't reach his opponents right away. There. That's it, we have looted everything. We can move on to Navigator's Sanctum. Yep, map zones. We can't return to the Warrant Chamber, so Navigator's Sanctum it is. Ooh, all the purples, meaning something something warp something something chaos is right here.
The Navigator's Sanctum is directly along the passageway. I pray to the God Emperor that we are not too late.
Well, we'll see. Oh, and there's our next character. Idira.
And so she will enter the halls of the blinded guide and witness the radiance of the final dawn through the cracks and fall victim to a whim of fate.
Mistress, watch your head.
Barely escaping certain
Would
death.
it be too much to ask that you phrase your soothsayings plainly for once? That was too close.
Sorry, old man. The voices are so loud I can't even hear myself. They shriek, they sing, they... Oh, Abelard, how they sing!
This is Idira Tlass, personal Psyker and diviner of Her Ladyship Theodora von Valenciuss. Idira?
I'm not drunk, old man. I'm suffering the effects of the warp that is seeping through these walls. I see the ship's fate. To die in the waves of the immaterium, fall under the burning rays of the final dawn. And in the roaring blaze, I see a figure standing. Who is it? I have no answer.
The entity in your consciousness shrinks and crawls in deeper. Its claws scraping against the walls of your mind, as if the presence is trying to hide from the seer standing before you. Divina, are you?
The voices from beyond the threshold whisper to me. Sometimes their murmurs are clear, they grant insight. Sometimes they drive me mad. But I am patient. I know how to listen and discern. But now, with this clamor around me, too many voices, too loud. And you are von Valenciuss, one of Lady Theodora's heirs. Well then, we finally meet.
You hear a few clicks from the relay of the servo skull, which has followed you all the way here. And Theodora's scrambled voice gives way to a voice vaguely familiar to you. Officer's frequency. To all who can hear me, those with a weapon in their hand are to gather on the officer's deck at once. I repeat, gather on the officer's deck at once and prepare to launch a counterattack.
That's Edelthrad. Oh, Emperor's Providence. The other heir lives as well. Quickly, we must head to...
Not so fast, old man. If we drown in the warp, Lady Theodora's heirs won't be any good to us. If Edelthrad's like me and hasn't yet surrendered his mind or body to the mercy of the warp, then he can still hold on a little longer without us.
Blast it. You're right. First, we need to deal with what is happening here.
How do you know who I am?
What? You think Lady Theodora didn't ask me to peek into the darkness behind the backs of those she sees as her prospective heirs? I have seen you. I have seen the footsteps of your past and the wounds of your heart.
The seer's words dredge up something dark and frightening from the depths of your memory. Your soul has been tainted by the influence of warp sorcery, and it seems you will never be rid of it. What are you doing here?
The whispers called me. The ones I could make out among all the screams and screeches. Those who are rocking this boat hit us where it hurt. They went after the Navigator, our guide through the warp. Other whispers called me to the enginarium, but it was too late. I heard the cry of our master Cog, and the silence that followed.
What? You don't mean the Engine Seer Prime is...
Said, without a doubt. And the voices wail, heralding countless nightmares, cackling at each soul among the hundreds that are now joining the warp. The shriek from the Navigator's Sanctum was louder than the rest. And it's better that we saved the Navigator than some lever puller from a cooling module or a cook from the middle decks.
We must see if Navigator is well.
Oh no. No. Nothing is well about him. Can't you feel the chill crawling on your skin? The eyes watching you? The warp ice has already encased the bulkheads. What follows is calamity. But we're not just going to stand here and take it, are we? The state of things in here suggests there's a Navigator around. Maybe one who's crippled or at death's door, but still kicking. And since our skin hasn't peeled off our faces just yet, his third eye must be closed. At worst, it's a little roughed up. So what are we moping around for? Let's go protect that noble mutant while we're still alive.
Yep, so party controls. I won't manage... Actually, no, I will. So, formations can be only managed by clicking escape and then working in the menus, which is a bit weird. Normally, party controls would be somewhere in the UI. I'm not saying I don't like it, but it feels a bit awkward, for lack of a better term. Now, let's use this formation for now. No, we won't be at the forefront. Abelard will be at the forefront because he's our tank. Beatrice and Idira will take a back line, so yeah, this should be just fine. Let's spearhead into the unknown. Okay, some heretics trying to get to our Navigator. Let's see what we can do about it.
They're trying to tell me something.
The Emperor is with us.
Yes, so... where do I want to... So, Abelard will take care of things on this side. Idira, I will set her here, and we will stay right here. Yep, we can gauge effectiveness. Oh, so we go first and then Idira follows. I think we will use again at all costs, and I don't want to shoot the Heretic Psyker, I want to shoot Heretic Brawler. Ah, shh. We killed him. That's a problem. Maybe I should have shot the Heretic Psyker, because now... Well, now we wasted at all costs. That's rather sad. So let's give Abelard a voice of command. And that's our turn. Yep, I know what the Idira can do. So she can give extra parry, right? Yeah. Psyker increases the target's dodge and parry by plus 10% until the end of combat. So how this 10% is calculated is 3 plus Psyker's perception bonus plus 3 times Psy rating. Aha, I see. So her Psy rating is 1, her perception bonus must be... what? 2? No... less. Interesting. Oh no, it's a plus. So it must be at 4. Yeah. Then we get the 10%. Okay, so let's give 10%. Serious? Oh, the wrong button. So, we can give the extra dodge to Abelard. He will need it. Oh, shit. Warp barrel. That just... what did it give us? Prone. Okay, so that's... Phew. I already thought that we might have gotten an injury from this. Only being set prone is not the worst thing to happen. Then, let's see... Can we hit more than... So we'll hit these heretic sharpshooters with warp lightning. Just to... well, remove them from the board. And as we used warp ability, whale degradation is increased. At 15, it's possible that, well, a demon might arrive, and we don't want that.
But of course.
That would mean great problems. So we have given extra stacks of analyze enemies, so exploits to our enemy, which will make it easier, or I don't actually recall, so we can check it right here on our opponent. Yeah, so exploits. At the start of each turn, the operative inflicts +1 stack of exploits, sure. If the operative hits the target with the exploit stack, the attacker... the attack deals 5 times perception bonus more damage. So in this case, 20% more damage. The damage is also increased by 10% for each exploit on the target. Okay, so currently it would be extra 40% damage if Idira would damage this Heretic Psyker. So that's her turn. Now the Psyker.
Stop mocking me.
Yeah, pushes the veil degradation further. That is a problem. So Abelard can move up. Can he reach the Psyker? Yes, he can. Okay, he charged and Psyker, and we need to remove him as soon as possible. There, that's done. And only Heretic Sharpshooter remains. A small fry. And we can... yeah, we were prone. Due to that, well,
What is
He couldn't
this
really
authority?
move. This should end the battle, but I don't want to increase the veil degradation here, so Abelard will deal the killing blow. Because I don't want demons to just appear here. The creature in the chair appears as if it has become one with its throne. You see pink, parchment-like skin stretched between the seat and the limbs that have too many joints for a normal human being. The Navigator is breathing heavily, the air whistling as it exits through the two dark gill-like slits on its cheeks. The creature's eyes are shut, the two ordinary eyes as well as the third one that sits in the center of its forehead. Oh god. I believe Master Vespidus still lives. Abelard flinches at the sight of the stretched skin and the dark marks on the face of the creature. The servants are dead, but the chamber, thank the Emperor, is still sealed from the warp. Well, we have a chance of leaving this place alive. Give Abelard a pointed look. Abelard clears his throat. Master Vespidus? The Navigator says, barely able to lift his head and half open his normal eyes. A dark drop rose from under the closed lid of the third eye and down his face, leaving behind a black trail. Your time is short. The voice is coming from the wax grill at the base of the bizarre chair. It is unclear how the Navigator is able to produce human speech. Our time is short to do what? Suddenly, the Navigator's body starts thrashing in place. It lurches forward, then falls back onto the seat, then thrusts forward again as its bones crack and its skin tears open. However, the fusion between the body and the chair appears to be stronger than these wild impetuses. The mutant remains seated, but leans as far forward as he can. His layered raiment slowly turning crimson. The gill slits burst open, forming two hideous, screaming mouth-like bits. Fall to your knees, mortal, and behold the final dawn. Idira shrieks in terror. It came from beyond. His body is not his. Idira's screams is echoed by the silent cries in your head. The unseen creature triumphs at the sight of the Navigator succumbing to paroxysms of corruption. Its march thunders under the burden of hope. Unseal your hearts and I will flood your souls with myriads of words and meanings, each one a portent of salvation within me. The Navigator continues to convulse violently in his seat, shrieking and cackling, but then his fit stops abruptly. His face is drenched in black and crimson. The dark ooze from under his third eyelid has turned from a trickle into a stream mixed with the blood coming out of his nose, and there is purplish swelling around the eye. Run. Flee from this place while I still have the strength. The words come out of the wax as labored rattle. I can contain the intrusion, but not for long. We must begin the translation. Leave the warp. But it can't be done without the Master Helmsman's help. Address Abelard. The Navigator is still alive, but barely so. What do we do now? The Seneschal gazes at the figure in the chair. The ship can only begin to translate with the assistance of the Master Helmsman, if he is still alive. It is worth a try. We must get to the bridge, but we will need support. Our only option is to fight our way to the officer's deck and join forces with Ethelred and his people. I believe we will also find Lady Theodora there. She must have heard the call to arms that the Servo Skull relayed to us earlier. Idira reaches her hand out towards the Navigator, but pulls it back at the last moment. Respidas, good luck and thank you. The Navigator does not give her a response. Black tears mixed with blood are streaming from under the closed eyelids, and the wax at the base of the chair is bellowing out static, interspersed with distant echoes of otherworldly laughter. Well, fun times. Corruption has clearly taken hold. So let's collect everything we can from here. We don't want the auto gun, nor do we want the battle axe. There's no real need for it. Psyker staff. Gains arc lightning ability and +5 willpower. I think, and yeah, didn't collect the things. I think that Idira already has this kind of stuff on her, so we can check. Yes, she indeed has psychic stuff. They're identical, so we can remove this and move it to cargo and to sell it later.
The sooner we start.
Alright, let's head on out from the Navigator's Sanctum and head for the officer's desk. Oh, not desk, deck. Desks. Just a thing from the game we're streaming. Book of Hours. There's quite a lot of them. Yeah, I really like these cathedral-like lifts.
Your ship's as good as ours. It's all over for you.
I shall pity not your enemies. I shall heed not their pleas.
Somebody shoot these.
I shall betray not your tenets, nor stray one step from them. Take not your gaze from me. Leave me not without your grace.
I told you he would protect us.
My God, my light, my Emperor.
And this is our sister of battle, Adeptus Sororitas. The white-haired warrior turns to face you, her dark eyes blazing. The weapon quivers in her hand, and for a brief moment, it seems she is not going to stop, and will instead continue eliminating every target she sees, starting with you.
Sister Argenta! Sister Argenta, it is a relief to see you. We require all the forces we can muster.
Your face, it is unfamiliar. Who are you?
Fair enough, let's introduce ourselves. Beatrice von Valenciuss, the Lord Captain's heir.
The hour is dark and daunting. The ship abounds with corruption. The faces of friends who are twisted by sneers of heresy. The eyes of comrades ignite with the arch-enemy's hunger. I will do what I must to halt the advance of the Dark Forces. But in these dire moments, little can be trusted. So I must know, why are you here?
Sister, I beg of you. Now is not the time for interrogations. The ship is under attack by heretics. We've been betrayed by our esteemed Master of Whispers. Ethelred the Heir is waiting for our aid, and Lord Captain Theodora is expecting a report on our success. We are here to deal with the situation. So I suggest we all do just that.
Do not even think of to insinuate that I am one of the traitors. I will not let such a front slide.
That answer does you credit. Only the truly righteous would be so provoked by the accusation of heresy.
Argenta nods.
I cannot wait to rain righteous fire down upon each and every heretic.
What is Warrior of Adeptus Sororitas doing aboard the rogue trader's ship? Your order serves Ecclesiarchy, do they not?
Sister Argenta is a guest of the Lord Captain. And that story deserves its own time and conversation. Under more appropriate circumstances.
Enough idle chatter. I am where I must be, and that will suffice.
Who are these people with you?
Overseer of Middle Deck AL-84, my lady. We were rounding up everyone we could find in the attack compartments when we ran into an ambush. Just about every enforcer fell. These are the survivors.
What is happening on the enforcer's deck?
Massacre, my lady. And heretics are not just killing the crew. Some kind of blight is sweeping through the decks, filling the air. I saw people going mad the moment they breathed it in, screaming about their dead comrades, tearing out their eyes. I implore you, my lady, be on your guard.
Well then, we must get to the main hall of the deck.
Through this door. I shall join you, for it is my duty to the God Emperor to destroy this heresy.
We will follow. For now, we will hold off any heretics who might try to crawl in through the cracks to join the main assault. And we'll take a look at the generators while we're at it. Those villains made a mess of the cables. Oh, I wish we had a Tectomat with us. But we'll see what we can do without one.
Good to hear it. Sister?
Ready. May Terra's light illuminate our path through fire and darkness.
Oh, and I'm already sliding away. So, again, this has taken quite a while, and I think this is a good enough place to put a cut in, as we will be moving forward through the officer's deck, and dealing with the heretics we find next time. Thank you for watching. This has been Team Screaming Activity. You can catch me and my partner streaming Book of Hours on Saturdays, and there will be more Rogue Trader coming soon. Bye.